the average human person is actually kind-hearted, loving.
I think so.
Caring, and not actually racist, but if you give them reasons and positions that influence the way they think, they will become that. A lot of times people don't even know they have the choice to make their life as beautiful or as disastrous as they want.
So I shouldn't be nowhere getting ready to take off my earrings.
No, do you think you're doing it? Racism is a myth that has been justified has been advocated for so long that people believe it.
Yeah. Like Jesus. Okay, sorry.
Now.
Were you Black in Italy? Were you Black in England?
You see, I was just a person.
Just a person.
I was just a person.
Because of the circles you moved in.
Correct, yes.
But the U.S. was like,
yo.
No, my nigga. I mean, the U.S. will tell you quickly.
That's beautifully put. That is so beautifully put.
Welcome to BLAXIT to Africa. I'm Tadre Delora Moignet, a California native living my best life in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I hope that you are informed, entertained, and inspired to BLAXIT to Africa. I'm so excited today because my meditation teacher is here, Kiuri Mburathi. Yes, and he is so much more than just a meditation teacher. He's also an architect. He's also a DJ. And I have invited him to come and have a conversation with us just about his experiences in the United States as a Kenyan man, and also about his perspectives about what's happening in the U.S. from a spiritual standpoint. So without further ado, come on in.
Thank you, Tadre. So good. So
thank
good.
you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So,
yes,
I would love it if you could just tell us a bit more about who you are. Like,
yes.
First,
yep.
How did you come into architecture?
Okay. So, first of all, thanks for having me. And hi, guys, wherever you are. So my name, like she said, is Kiuri Mburathi, and I was born here in Nairobi. And then from the age of about a year and a half, my dad began traveling around the world. So I began moving to different parts of the world.
Okay. Dip kid.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, diplomat kid. Okay. Third
Correct.
Culture.
100%.
Wow.
Absolutely. But even though we were traveling, he always made sure that we'd come back to Kenya every year for a couple of months. So that kept a connection to Kenya. And then some of the countries that he lived, which gave me a beautiful opportunity to experience different cultures. So we lived in Italy, Ethiopia, Ghana, South Africa, Zambia, and Ethiopia. And that was living. And yeah, my dad loves traveling as well, so we would always visit the countries around. So that was really a beautiful childhood. And then I was sent to boarding school when I was 10, and the boarding school was in Kenya. As that was happening as well, I was sent to Kenya boarding school from ages 10 to about 16. And then I did my A-levels in England in a place called Clifton College. And then my
A-levels are undergrad.
No. So A-levels is like high school.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And then I did my undergrad also in England, in Oxford Brookes. Okay. And then I wasn't studying architecture at that point. I was doing human biology, and I ended up living with some architecture students. And I was like, you guys are making models, doing beautiful drawings. I was like, I want to do that too.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided I wanted to do architecture. So I finished my first degree, which was human biology. And then, because in Europe to do a master's, you have to do 7 years in architecture.
Wow.
Yeah. But the States has an accelerated course where you can do it in 5.5 months. So that's the reason I went to the States.
5.5 months.
So, sorry, 5.5 years, sorry.
Five and a half years to get a master's in architecture.
Yes, yeah.
Dang, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, yeah, because ordinarily it takes 7. So there's a special accelerated course. So that's the reason I ended up in America. I had no intention of going there, but because of that, I was happy to go there.
Okay.
And that was I went to the States in 1999. And Syracuse University was where I was studying my master's program.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how I got
So that's
into
how you, and when you design in architecture, you do commercial and residential.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So those of you who are BLAXITing and you want to buy property and build your own house, this is the guy.
Absolutely. I'll put my website at the bottom of the comments.
This is the guy. Oh my gosh. So my dream home is like at the coast, something small and cozy, but
naturally cooled.
Yes, so when I'm ready,
there's only one person.
You. There's only one person.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes.
I have seen multiple or one interview with you, and then you've also shared with us in class about your experience in the United States. And one of the things that stood out to me is that you talked about a bit of an identity crisis and how you found yourself with most of your friends were white American?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think that was?
So, because of segregation, actually. Definitely.
Okay, so because of segregation, did you find it to be similar to South Africa's?
So I hadn't lived in South Africa at that point.
Okay.
So I hadn't experienced South African segregation at that point. But, I only realized how segregated America was after like 4 months, because I actually had no idea that it was that deep. So it was kind of revealed to me in very shocking ways. And this was one of the reasons that I had identity crisis.
How was it revealed to you? Give us an example.
I'll give you an example. This was so shocking. So in Syracuse, there is a place called the Onondaga Reservation.
With the indigenous Americans?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, so why is it called a reservation? And they explained, and I was in shock. The fact that the government consciously franchised the Native American community and then created barren land zones where they were forced to inhabit and stay. And that shook me to the core. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that it was still happening. I couldn't believe that there was a country that would justify it and continue justifying it. So that was like how it was revealed. I didn't know that reservations existed before that. I was like, what?
It's just crazy because I love hearing about the U.S. from non-Americans. Because what you've done is you've revealed to me something that I just always took for granted. Like, it is what it is. And this is how I've grown up.
Yeah.
And so the way I've rationalized it in my head is like, oh, they have community there. Some of them get casino money. No. But you're right. It really is a barren place. And there's all kinds of social ills that exist there as far as like addictions, right? Depression, high rates of suicide. And then, of course, it's a food desert, domestic violence. There's one that I'm leaving out.
Education system. The education system inside is completely different.
The hyper policing. Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
So thank you for reminding me. Like, that's a part of the United States. I've never been to Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the times I've been in New York, I've been in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that now you coming into an academic space as somebody from Kenya,
yes,
American University. How are you received?
Okay, so I'll clarify that because I wasn't coming to the academic space as a Kenyan.
Okay.
I was coming to the academic space as an international person. As an international person, it wasn't actually as a Kenyan because I've lived in all of these different places. Actually, I've lived outside of Kenya longer than inside of Kenya.
Got you.
So my experience, my background isn't a typical Kenyan
It's
experience.
global.
Yes, it's global.
Got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So how was it received? So it was received very well, but I realized some of the reasons it was received very well wasn't for the right reasons. And I didn't realize until I was there a little longer. So
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the reasons it was received very well was because I had a much stronger British accent at that point.
Right, right.
So when people would meet me, they wouldn't take me as what typical whatever. So so what I mean is the reasons I was well received, unfortunately, were because of discriminatory reasons that had to do with my background not being the typical person, like the typical person that they usually meet. Yeah, so I mean, it's crazy because again, Syracuse University is a fantastic university. It's one of the best universities in the world, actually. And there was a very determined, so now that we're talking about being accepted in academic positions, there was undergrad professor, I can't remember his name, but he was so lovely and he had dreads. He was African American. And in the course that I was there for like 5 years, I saw how much he had to struggle compared to the other professors.
To get his work published?
To get his work published, to get tenured, to get it was... So again, this is what I mean. Like I was seeing as things were being revealed to me about America while staying there that I had no idea about. But actually when I was there, I was getting to see how classist, how discriminatory, how segregated, how ridiculously difficult it is for somebody of color to prosper. And yeah, it's so intense, man. It's so intense. I'll give you another example.
Okay.
The fraternities are set up as Black, white, and Latino.
Pretty much, yeah. Now we have Asian.
Yes.
We have so many different types of fraternities, but yeah, Black and white is those are the major.
Absolutely. And when I was there, it was Latino as well. So what that made me realize is, first of all, a high-level educational institution is condoning segregation because that's what it is. Separating people to live based on their race is segregation.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
When I saw you yesterday, I had meditated at Brahma Kumar's. We didn't talk about the type of meditation that he does, and it's Brahma Kumar's, and we'll get into the techniques. But I didn't realize how much I was carrying with me.
Yes.
And I literally started crying during meditation. But one of the things that has come across my algorithm, right?
Yes.
Is this disconnect between Africans and African Americans. And apparently there was a boycott on August 1st, a few days ago, where some African Americans were saying they were boycotting African businesses in the US.
Okay.
And I guess that the impetus behind it was Africans don't respect us, and yet they're here based on the blood, sweat, tears, and accomplishments, the wins that we have made. And now they come here and they call us lazy and they don't respect us and this and that. It's a whole thing in another sphere. While you and I are over here, there's something else happening over here.
Yes.
And so because my platform is about encouraging people to come home.
Yep.
I'm Pan-African.
Yes.
Right? So I'm just this cannot be. And even Lynn Ngugi, who's a Kenyan, she's a YouTuber. She has a legit show on YouTube. She even talked about it. Yes. And there has been some conversation about nefarious government entities sponsoring this division. But I bring all of this up because I wanted to know, like, what was your experience with African Americans
Yes.
in the United States
Yes.
as this third culture person
Yes.
who's not African American?
Yeah, yeah,
How were
yeah.
you received? How were you treated?
Okay. So while I was there, I had only one very good African American friend, and his name was Nashon, and he was a DJ, and he's amazing. One of the reasons I didn't have a lot of African American friends is because I was never in spaces with them. And now I realize that's because the country was already segregated that way.
Syracuse is a very white city, isn't it?
It's such a university. Yeah.
Isn't Syracuse in
Syracuse
Syracuse?
has such a deep history.
Okay.
Because Syracuse was one of the landing places at the end of the
Railroad, the Underground Railroad. Yes.
So Syracuse actually was very black until the mid 50s, and then there was infrastructural. So this is also how good a university Syracuse University was. So there was a course about infrastructural segregation. And so we learned how the planning and road system of Syracuse at that point was set up to intentionally segregate the white population from the black population. Of course, the university was put on one side, and so that separation and segregation happened then. So of course, coming in 1999, that had been established for such a long time. There was no way that I was going to be experiencing African Americans in this space.
Okay, Syracuse University is in Syracuse, New York, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I've never been there, so forgive my ignorance.
Yeah.
It used to be a very black place.
Syracuse.
Right.
Yes.
But it was no longer when you got there.
No, by the time I got there, it still has a very strong black population, but because of those segregation systems that I just talked about that were put in place, I think it's the mid 50s, early 60s, don't quote me on this, that segregation had proliferated so strongly by the time that I'd gotten there. That's what I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we have a history in the U.S. of municipal governments, state governments flooding our communities, building over our communities, tearing our communities down, building freeways through our communities, decimating the commercial districts and thereby tearing down the social community. Yeah, we do have a history of that in the U.S. Were there no Black Americans in your program or there had to be at your school?
At the school there were, but because I was doing a master's program in architecture,
Got you.
That's who I was socializing with, and also at that point I was that age, so I wasn't really experiencing the undergrad experience at all.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I feel you. It's a whole different. It's a whole different vibe.
It is.
And were you even on a separate campus?
So I wasn't living on campus.
Okay.
We were coming in into the architecture studio. I was living in private residences, so to speak. Although I have to say, I did also have a wonderful time in Syracuse with the people that I interacted with. And you know, that's the other thing that we forget. Because segregation and racism is so strong and so proliferated, that sometimes the narrative goes to such an extreme that we forget that there are good people of all races. And especially when you are in a place like America, where the discrimination is so extreme and the focus is on that extreme part, you forget that, you know, most people, you know, like the population of extremists is actually very small, but a lot of extremists are in places of power, and so they control a lot of the narrative. The average human person is actually kind-hearted, loving,
I think so.
caring, and not actually racist. But if you give them reasons and positions that influence the way they think, they will become that. But again, that's possible in all races at any particular time. But because of how extreme the condition is at this particular moment, it's easy to fall into the narrative that one party is good and the other party is bad. if you see what I'm saying. And that's one of the traps that I got into when I was in the States, which actually was a warning sign that something was very wrong with how I was thinking and feeling. Previous to this, I hadn't questioned myself as an African, for example. But then I realized when I was in the States, all my friends were non-African, and I had only one African-American friend. So I was like, why do I not have any other African friends if I'm an African, I'm a black man? Like, that's a question I was asking. When I considered the reservation situation of Onondaga County, how can I be here buying into a system that justifies that kind of behavior? These were the kind of questions that were in the crisis really getting me to feel not very good, and because I didn't understand, I didn't have I was thrown into it like it's almost in a violent action, in violent way. So I was having to like process like human history like
quickly.
Exactly.
Quickly.
Exactly. And that's very traumatic. It's very difficult, actually. And because I didn't have a guide, I didn't have access to spiritual knowledge, then I was like lost in a sea of doubt, non-understanding, anger, yeah. So it's sounding to me like you're bigger than the labels. That's what it's sounding to me like. But I didn't realize that at that point.
And we're really all bigger than the labels. But when you come up in this society, you take on those labels. If you don't, you die socially, which could also lead to economic death as well. This is how people survive in jobs they hate. This is how people survive in families that they just have no connection with beyond blood.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So then when you were asking yourself, what does it mean to be a black man? What does it mean to be an African? What was the answer?
So because I didn't have an answer, that's what made me lose my mind. I didn't know. I couldn't figure it out. I didn't have an answer, actually. And that's what was very troubling. That's what made me lose my mind, actually.
Were you black in Italy? Were you black in England?
You see, I was just a person.
Just a person.
I was just a person.
Because of the circles you moved in.
Correct, yes.
But the U.S. was like,
yo,
no, my nigga. I mean, the U.S. will tell you quickly.
That's beautifully put. That is so beautifully put.
One of the conversations that I've had is that Africans are not black. I believe that people get to define themselves. So I even did a whole episode, and I'll link it, where Africans define themselves by their ethnic group or tribe, as some people say. Then there's the clan, right? And then there's like, maybe if you come from a patriarchal society, your daddy's name, right? And then like your gender. So I love Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Yes. I love her. And she talks about like, I didn't know I was black till I got to the US. And she very much like is an advocate for Africans, Nigerians, Black Americans. She includes Black American characters in almost all of her books, which I love and appreciate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this, how do I want to put it? I guess like you grappling with your blackness that was put upon you when you were never black in the first place, and yet you don't have a problem with your family lineage, right?
No.
So yeah, can you break it down for us, like just like what that felt like?
Yes, this is also making me realize something that I said earlier, that the myth, racism is a myth that has been justified has been advocated for so long that people believe it.
Yeah. Like Jesus. Okay, sorry.
Now.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Now, that the distinction and separation of one color from the other, white from black, first of all, a relatively new thing as far as human history is concerned. This thing of separating, it's just really new.
As far as our human history,
absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. So that's one thing. Now, but because it's been so strongly proliferated in our recent history, we believe that people have been thinking this way for millennia. They haven't.
Correct.
They haven't. People have been interacting with each other based on how they feel and their experiences much more. If you look at human history, if you just depending on which culture, even as far back as like 100 years, 150 years. So the power of how segregation is proliferated is so strong that it creates the belief system that it is real. That's what I meant to say.
Okay. We're in the matrix.
We're in the matrix. Yeah.
Do you see the same thing in Kenya now that you're here? How long have you been here, like full time?
Yes, I've been here since 2007.
Okay.
Yes.
In Nairobi?
Yes, in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when I talk to people about quote unquote tribalism, because I look at race relations in the US as tribalism. We just don't call it that.
Yes. Yeah.
When I talk to people here and in Uganda about tribalism, it sounds like the same thing.
It is.
But then my girlfriend, she's a new friend, she's Kenyan American, she's like, Tadra, it's not the same. It's not the same. They will never know until they live there. Do you think it's the same?
It's exactly the same thing, and I'll tell you why it's the same thing. Because it's based on creating a false identifier that segregates us from them. As soon as you create this separation of us and them, then you are in essence instigating an internal retraction from the other and a deep internal disconnect from the experience of the other.
Yeah.
So that at its core is what is the root and reason of almost all negative actions that we have as human beings, whether it's nation against nation, men against women, like tribe against tribe. As soon as you believe that we are separate from them, you're going to begin behaving in not very compassionate and loving ways.
I have to go back to one thing that you said about like the belief that people of African descent are inferior. I don't think that's a pervasive belief. I think they know who we are. I think they know our greatness. And that's why they spend so much of their resources trying to prove the opposite.
So again, now we're speaking like there's an us and them. There isn't. It's just yes.
I mean, but this is the world that is created for us.
You see, okay,
right?
Yes, you see, if you buy into what you see, and you use that as your basis of truth, then definitely there's an us and them.
It's done.
Yes, it's done. Like they'll.
So I can't say like, oh, the Chinese here in Kenya, they feel like they're up here and they're excluding Kenyans from their buildings, and I have to. How do I get over that?
First of all, in that statement, you are basically not only generalizing, but
I am.
Yeah,
I am generalizing.
You're also projecting onto a whole group of people who are just as richly diverse as any other group of people. In that statement, you're forcing them not to be rich, diverse, and individual, and with choice and agency. You're actually communicating to the world that if you are Chinese, then this is the way you behave, which is racist.
Okay. I hear you.
Yes.
And I know you are 1,000% right. However, when we go out into the world, because you did teach a class on like the practicalities of meditation.
Yes.
When we go out into the world and we encounter people that are just nasty and rude and hurtful and predators. How do we move beyond the labels and rise above it?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Number one is do not connect whatever they're doing to their external markers.
Okay.
That's number one.
So I can't generalize.
Do not generalize.
Okay.
Now, this does not mean that if you find that somebody is doing something negative, then you accept it. No. But you see that that is a human being performing a particular act that they have chosen, not because they're a woman or a man, or because they're Chinese or they're black. It's because they're a person who's making a choice in that moment.
Okay.
Because anybody at any point can make whatever choice they want.
That's facts. Yeah, that's
And
facts.
if you forget that, then automatically you're basically justifying the prejudice that, and see, that's also why I had a crisis when I was in the States, is I was beginning to become angry and racist.
Towards black people?
No, towards white people.
Okay.
But as soon as I felt that anger and hate towards another group, I was like, wait, Kiuri, what are you doing? Why? Isn't that exactly what you are in opposition of, which is discriminating and judging people based on their external markers? And that's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're human. We do it, but it doesn't feel right in your body. And so I guess this is where we can get into a little bit of the meditation technique, because
Yes.
When I have the bandwidth.
Yes.
And I'm at the supermarket and somebody just puts their stuff in front of mine. And it's like, and this is a person who perceives themselves to be privileged and entitled.
Yes.
Sometimes it could be a man. Sometimes, one time it was a moneyed African woman.
Yes.
And a few times it was Chinese.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, we're not associating with markers, right?
Yes.
Physical markers. We could choose. It could be anybody, right? But my first thing, like I get hot, like all in here, I just get hot.
Yes.
And then,
yes, you want to.
then, I try to, but I stop it like in its tracks.
Yeah.
And then that person will usually just, they don't know what to do and they'll just leave. Or if they feel really entitled, they don't care. So how do we transmute that energy? I feel like I know, but I don't always use the technique.
Yes,
And he's going to teach us the technique.
So you said something at the beginning of that, describing that scenario, which was very important. You said, if I am not in a good state of mind, you actually said, if
I have the bandwidth to confront, I don't always have the bandwidth to confront.
Okay, so one of the reasons things trigger us is our own internal state of mind. And sometimes that internal state of mind can be created because of childhood traumas. It can be created because of our experiences as human beings. That internal state of mind actually is what will determine your overall experience. But because we forget that and we focus on the external, we begin to blame the external and say that it's the external that made me feel like this. So I'll rewind now in your scenario. If any of those situations had happened just after you'd had a beautiful meditation session,
it wouldn't even have registered.
Exactly.
I know it.
Exactly.
I know. It just don't even.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, you in a rush? Go
ahead.
Or it might not even come to me. But I mean, Kiuri, we are human.
I know. So allow me just to expand a little bit more. So now, if this is why I had that crisis in the States, because I didn't have the tools or the knowledge of what to do so that I can remain in a high enough state of consciousness where these negative things don't only not affect me, but I'm powerful enough that they don't become my reality, because I am the one who is creating my reality. That's the biggest lesson I've learned through the spiritual study. I am the creator of my reality. Now, if I become aware of this fully, then I can begin exercising my internal state of mind, and that will in turn influence the external world. But because we don't have that information, we always point outwards to say, I am feeling bad because that person did that to me. I feel this is happening because they didn't say the right thing. That realization and that process takes a lot of energy, a lot of work, a lot of internal checking and everything else that has to be done for that to be experienced, right? Now, unless you're willing to take those steps, one will never really experience it, because then it's just like theory, right? So the reason it's difficult is because it takes time, effort, and energy. But the reward is liberation. Like, and like I'd read about spiritual knowledge liberating you, but I didn't actually understand what it meant until I began to experience it. And this programming that we've had, this socialization that we've had, is so powerful and so strong that and we're not aware that we're allowing it to determine our experiences. It takes a lot of power to snap out of it and be like, I've had enough. Now I want to take control. But as soon as you do that, your reality changes massively, and you begin to experience and know the love and the essence and the joy that life can be if we choose, because it's a choice. But a lot of times people don't even know they have the choice to make their life as beautiful or as disastrous as they want.
So I shouldn't be nowhere getting ready to take off my earrings.
No, you're doing it perfectly.
But I like how you bring a human aspect to it, because you admitted, like, sometimes I'm not always up on my meditation practice, but I also love how you've taught me how to channel, so that I can shift the space in a room and actually even shift the energy of another person. Yes. Through Brahma Kumaris. The other thing I wanted to touch on is one of my girlfriends in Uganda. She was like, Tadre, we don't understand why you guys are here.
Okay, yes.
Why are y'all coming to our country when you have so much in the United States?
Yes, yep.
My answer is that you're going to the U.S. for different reasons. We're coming to the continent for different reasons. Like, people are in my comments like, you guys need to start business. You guys should be like the Chinese and the Indians and the Brits and all the others that come here. I feel like we're coming here for peace of mind. We're coming here for relaxation. We're coming here to be around people that look like us, because we're tired of being othered.
Yes.
And then I could be projecting, but you correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I feel like some Africans, depending upon their class, are going for opportunity. And I think the U.S. is a great place to make money. I don't think that you can self-actualize in the United States as a non-white person.
It's very difficult.
So what can you, as someone who has lived both lives, actually many lives, what would you say to my Ugandan girlfriend or other Kenyans who are watching? Like, why are they here?
So, I think also people's perception of America is very different from the reality of America.
Ooh, say that again. Say it again.
I found this out by living there. People's perception of America is very, very different from the reality of America. That's number one. So a lot of people, as Kenyans or whatever, when they're looking at the States, they imagine that they'll go there, they'll work hard, and they'll become successful as the people they see in the rap videos and the movies and the whatever. That's just not the case. It's just not the case. America has one of the worst work cultures ever. It's got one of the worst economical systems, especially if you're not white. It's got the worst healthcare system in the world.
Not in the world, but in the developed world.
In the developed world.
In the developed world, we rank at the bottom or near the bottom in so many categories. Yes.
Yeah. And also the opportunity to prosper is not as apparent as people imagine it is. Without a doubt. So, and I've met a few African Americans who've been on this side, and one of the things they say is when they first arrive is, "I can breathe," and that's so deep. That is so deep when you realize that most people in their similar situations are not even breathing properly.
Right? You can't even exhale.
Totally, because you're always under so much tension. You're always having to be on guard and fight. And your cortisol is perpetually running through your body. So you're quite right. People are moving for different reasons, number one. And that's one of the reasons people can't imagine why African Americans are coming here, because they have no idea how different from what they imagine the experience of the African American in America is.
I have gone on camera saying that I like for people who, let's say, lower class Kenyans. I'm speaking to Kenyans because a lot of Kenyans watch this.
Yep.
You want to make money. You don't have connections here. Mm-hmm. The U.S., North America, Europe can be an option. Mm-hmm. However, for someone who does have options and resources, would you recommend it?
Not at all. There's no comparison. Life, if you have access to resources, is so much better here. I'll give you a couple of examples. When you're in the States and you are working to live, you're working to live.
Yeah.
That's it. You're spending
You make it 80,000,
absolutely,
120,000, you're still in debt.
You're still in debt, and you're perpetually working. You have no free time to socialize, to enjoy yourself. Even now on a Sunday, it's because we have time, we can just do this.
Yeah.
Whew. So that's number one. First of all, you do not have personal space, mental space. Then the social network in the States is extremely poor. Here, we are very social beings. We have multiple friends, we have extended family, we have, on a Sunday, you visit people, your life is socially very, very rich, and you have the opportunities to do so. In the States, you don't. And what's another one? Oh yeah, the perpetual debt thing. It's crazy. So the country runs on credit, basically. So because of that, you never really have savings that would allow you to make any kind of life moves. So for example, take a sabbatical, you can't do that. Nobody in the States has, unless you're super wealthy, So,
or you've got, someone sponsoring the sabbatical,
absolutely,
right? Your research,
like an institution or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yes, but then you're still working. Yeah. It's not really a sabbatical.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. Mm-hmm.
So that's that. What else? What else is there?
That's enough.
I think that is enough. Yeah.
The healthcare, my God, that's enough. Would you recommend?
Yes.
African Americans, Afro-Brits, mm-hmm. those are the ones who are primarily in my DMs. Would you recommend that they move to Kenya, given the economic, political, and social state of the country right now? And be honest.
Yes, okay, I'll be completely honest. You need a connection here before you move. You need a connection. You have to have a connection, yeah.
I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
No, I'm so glad you said that. Kiuri, do you know I do relocations now?
Now that you reminded me, you told me I think a couple of months ago that's what you wanted to get into.
To start.
Yes.
So now we're doing relocations.
Okay.
Before that, I was doing consultations.
Yes.
Relocations are people who they really need to have their hands held. Consultations are people who are just like, I'm a world traveler, but I'm new to Kenya. And
yes.
I need a little guidance.
Yes.
I had a client that I took on a fashion and art tour yesterday.
Yes.
She's from Chicago. And she said, whew, one thing I say about this place, if you don't know nobody, you can't get nothing done.
You cannot.
And I thought to myself, I was like, she's exactly right, to the point of where she's been here for less than a week.
Mm-hmm.
The situations that they've been in,
yes,
she's questioned her decision to come, and it's like, I can go someplace else.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You do, but beyond needing someone, would you still recommend it?
Yes, if you have a plan and you know what you would like to do, and I'll tell you what, man, life is better here, without doubt. And if you have access to resources.
If you have access to resources, and one of the things that I shared is the middle class in Kenya has a much better lifestyle, quality of life than the middle class in the United States.
By far.
And in the upper class, imagine the upper class in the United States is still hustling. Mm-hmm. They're still going to work. They're still trading on their phone, whatever it is they're doing. They still do not have the same quality of life than the upper class here in Kenya.
It doesn't even compare. It's actually quite surprising, and you wouldn't know that until you experience it. And this is now where that connection is really important. Africans are completely social beings. Everything is determined by your interactions with people, and people work with people that they know and have connections with. So to be an effective player, people need to know you, which means...
And meet you in person, which gets on my nerves. I'm like, we could just do a Zoom.
Totally, that's how social... So I've got another example of just how social Africans are, right? When people come, they cannot get over the fact when you use Uber and you order, the Uber driver calls you.
That annoys the hell out of people.
I know. But they don't understand why. It's because as Africans, we're extremely social. We have to have a human contact, a human touch. So even though it's on the app, I am not satisfied until I hear your voice. That's the human connection that person needs to now be like, okay, I'm coming. Because
otherwise, this is make-believe.
Absolutely.
We don't know
who are you? Exactly. Exactly.
I'm so glad you explained that to me, because I thought it was due to maybe the address issues, which is not much of an issue in Nairobi, but in Kampala, a lot of places don't have addresses. So I'm thinking they're confirming that I'm actually where I am. Because they be like, where are you?
Yes.
I'm like, I'm where I said I am.
He knows exactly where you are. That where are you is like, hello, how's it going? How are you? Who are you? Because in the voice, he'll hear who you are.
Right. Right. And you know what? Another thing, this is kind of off topic, but it came up. One of the things that kind of tickles me is that there is no direct translation for hi or hello. We might say it could be mambo, right?
It's not directly.
But it's not. So when I say hi to people, they say, I'm fine.
Excellent.
Because built into the language, which is the culture, is you not just coming up to me and saying hi, you asking me how I'm doing.
Absolutely.
There is no such thing as hi.
No, there isn't. We have to it's an interaction. It's not just a, absolutely. Yeah.
Which requires me to slow down.
And it also requires you to look at me and engage me.
And engage.
Yes.
And engage.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Okay. Thank you for joining us on this episode of BLAXIT to Africa. If you like what you heard, please share, subscribe, and leave a comment. May you thrive. May you be inspired. May you move with love and intention. Until next time, throw him a kiss.
And much love to each and every wherever you are.